Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another day of Boulder Collegians baseball. Here we have Game 3 of a 6-game series between the Boulder Collegians and the hometown Alaska Goldpanners. Collegians took Game 1 14-9 on Monday and then fell 10-2 last night against the Goldpanners. Up first to bat right now is Ryan Vogel with Javine Pimentel on the mound for the Goldpanners. Vogel takes that one for strike one as this next pitch is going to be hit back for a quick 0-2 count. We will not have a live active scoreboard on the screen today. We are hoping that without the scoreboard, it'll provide a lot better resolution and a lot clearer footage. So we will update every inning in the chat box what the score is. As the 0-2 comes in and Vogel swings and misses right here to retire one out. Up next comes Brady Miguel. Miguel only playing in last night's game against the Goldpanners. Went 2 for 4 in that one with a pair of base hits. Came around and scored in the 9th inning. This pitch is going to come in and be good for ball one. On the mound for the Collegians today is Ian Isdale. Again, this is the top of the first. One out. As this one comes in and it's going to be good for strike one. Javine Pimentel out of the University of Arizona. Born and raised in the great state of Hawaii. As this next pitch comes in and it's going to be shot into the backstop right in the face of a fan down the third base line. Brady Miguel going to play second base today as this next pitch comes into him and it's going to catch just the outside of the zone for ball two. That'll even things up at 2-2. In the on-deck circle is Jackson Chatterton with John Gazdar in the hole. Two coming up. This one's going to be chopped into right field, and it's going to make its way into the 4 gap there to put one runner on. As that's the third straight single from Brady Miguel. And that'll get the first runner on. As Jackson Chatterton comes up to the plate, he's going to play designated hitter this evening. Again, one runner on. It's Brady Miguel on first base. One out. Still no score in the top of the first as Jackson Chatterton comes up. Designated hitter tonight, he played second base for most of last night's matchup, came in the 8th inning and actually pitched a little bit for his first inning of the year. This one's going to be low and outside for ball one. This pitch comes in. Chatterton swings hard at that one, and he misses. Bring up a 1-1 count. Chatterton got on base early on his first at-bat yesterday, but was unable to get on base another time after that. He's been pretty much the solid second baseman for the Collegians all year this year. One from Pimentel set to come in as they go back to first as Miguel's leading off there. And at first base with Miguel is Carter Henninger, who's a relief pitcher for the Collegians. And all season long, he has periodically been sent to first base to run as the first base coach. Manager Tony Rucco is the third base coach. So this pitch comes in, and it's going to be down the middle, called for strike one. Very enthusiastic home plate umpire we have here. Shakes his arms a little bit before calling each strike. As the 1-2 comes up to Chatterton. And swing and a miss goes Chatterton for out number 2 and the second strikeout of the inning for Pimentel. Now it comes up John Gazdar. Gazdar with 1 hit on the day last evening. Also got hit by a pitch hard in the left shoulder. And was able to take his base there. So this pitch comes in and it's going to drop into the zone. Drop out of the zone for ball 1. 1-0 count again for those of you just joining us. We will not have an active scoreboard today, but we believe without the active scoreboard, we'll be able to have far better camera quality, and we will update you in the live chat box every inning. 1-0 comes in. This one's going to be hit foul back to the Collegians dugout and bring up a 1-1 count. Gazdar attending San Jose State University, last year graduating in high school of the class of 2020. Said it was a pretty difficult year at San Jose State, as it was for many people around the country, just with COVID so active in all of our lives. Made the first-year college experience a little different, as Gazdar half swings at this one and sends it to third, where the Goldpanners will handle that with ease and throw it to first. So similar to last evening, Collegians get a runner on in the first but are unable to do anything else. And so because of that, Collegians are held scoreless in the top of the first. Ian Isdale, the southpaw hurler out of Parker, Colorado, is going to come step on the mound for Boulder, as we'll take a quick break and be right back from Fairbanks. We are back in Alaska for the bottom of the first inning. First look we get at Ian Isdale up here in the last frontier. First time on the mound for the left-handed pitcher out of the University of Northern Colorado in Greeley. Coming up to bat right now is Luke Glasgow. So he takes this first pitch off the dirt for ball one. Glasgow had himself a solid outing in the first game this Monday, getting on base all 5 times. Last evening also had a solid outing, a single and a double on his first 2 at-bats, and was able to score on both of those as the 1-0 comes in, and it's going to be outside once again for ball 2. Behind home plate is Garrett Fisher for the Collegians out of Fossil Ridge High School. He also attends the University of Northern Colorado, so Isdale definitely comfortable pitching to his college teammate there. As he goes into his windup on the 2-0, and this one catches the edge of the zone, and we await the ecstatic strike call from the home plate ump. That one gets called for the 2-1. 2-1 coming in. And that one's going to miss just outside and bring us to 3-1. Boulder falling 10-2 last evening. Bats were not flying in a similar manner as they were on Monday evening after they won emphatically 14-9. Glasgow gets on this one and sends it into right field where Sean D gets the grab for out number 1. Excuse me, that one looks like it fell. That one looks like it did fall into right field, and Glasgow's going to get a base hit and get on base. That ball just shallow. Looked like Sean D maybe would have grabbed that, but it bounced right between him and Brady Miguel as Grady Morgan swings and misses on this first pitch to bring up an 0-1 count. On first base is Luke Glasgow. No outs. 0-0 in the bottom of the first inning. Isdale uses a pickoff move back to first base. At first base is Nolan Ackerman out of San Mateo College in California. At second base is Brady Miguel. At shortstop is John Gazdar. And at third base is Alec Ackerman as the 0-1 comes in, and Morgan gets under this one and sends it up here near where we are to bring up an 0-2 count. In the outfield is Nick Upstill in left, Ryan Vogel in center, and AJ Rucco getting a day off as Sean D replaces him in right field. Isdale takes a look at first and uses a pickoff move. Glasgow testing his luck a little bit there. Late arriving crowd here in Fairbanks. Decent amount of people starting to file in. So the 0-2 comes in, and it's going to be shot foul once again to keep the at-bat alive. Isdale, one of 3 players from Chaparral High School down in Parker. So he pitches this one, and it's going to be low and outside for ball 1. 1-2, Collegians still looking for their first out here. Isdale with a look at first. He goes into his windup, and this one's going to bounce off. Off goes Glasgow. The throw to second is going to go past the arm of John Gazdar. And luckily Brady Miguel behind him there to prevent any further bases from being stolen. Long at bat here, still the second at bat of the order for the Goldpanners. And Isdale takes a look over his left shoulder and goes into his windup, and Morgan gets some contact on that one, sends it out, and it's going to drop in front of Upstill. Glasgow's going to stay where he's at, though. And Morgan's going to get himself a base hit. So back-to-back base hits to start the evening for the Goldpanners.
Now batting, first baseman, number 18, Ryan Pierce.
Brings up Ryan Pierce, the first baseman, and Ryan Pierce started out the game red hot last evening. 4 RBIs on his first 2 at-bats. He had a double on his first one that scored Glasgow and Morgan, and then had another 2 RBI double on his second at-bat to score Hogan and Glasgow. Runners on first and second. As Isdale takes a look over his left shoulder. No out, still in the bottom of the first, still no score. This pitch comes in, it's going to be tipped back for 0-1. Isdale preparing for the 0-1 pitch. Looks over his left shoulder, goes into his windup, sends this one in, and Pierce sends this one deep into left field, and it's going to bounce off the wall. Throw comes in to second, and it's going to go past the arm of Miguel at second. And Morgan's going to also go all the way home. Excuse me, Morgan's going to be held up at third base. He elects not to test his luck. And Pierce with another RBI double to start his outing. And still no outs as David Martin comes up to the plate with runners on second and third. That is Grady Morgan at third and Ryan Pierce at first. This one's going to go over the head of Garrett Fisher, and across home plate comes Grady Morgan for the second run for the Goldpanners. Pierce advances to third base. But still no outs. As the second pitch to Martin is going to also be a ball 2-0. So Goldpanners have scored 2 runs in this inning to take a 2-0 lead. As the 2-0 comes in, and it's going to dot the edge of the zone and be called for strike 1. As Isdale prepares for the 2-1 pitch, runner on third base, still no outs. As the 2-1 comes in, and Martin sends this one foul. And that brings up an even 2-2 count. The 2-2. And that one's going to get through in right field down the first base line. Home comes Pierce, and to second goes Martin for an RBI double for him. And the third run comes home. And eerily similar to what we saw last night, the first 3 batters up have all made their way all the way around the bases and scored to give the Goldpanners a 3-0 lead. First pitch from Isdale to come in. And this is Robert Matai fouling off for an 0-1 count.
10 a.m. to 6 p.m. all summer long.
Score is now 3-0 Goldpanners. They lead over the Boulder Collegians. Isdale with a look over his left shoulder into his windup. Pitches, and this one's going to be sent to Gazdar at second. He goes to third, and they get the tag out there. So very heads-up play from John Gazdar as he saw that Martin was taking off and making his way to third. If Martin would have stayed on second, Gazdar likely would have gone to first base,
Center fielder for one, Dominic Hughes.
but he elects to take off, and so Matai gets himself a fielder's choice first base, or base hit, excuse me, and Martin's going to be out at third for the first out of the inning. That brings up Dominic Hughes. Dominic Hughes out of Kansas State University. So there's just one runner on first, and off he goes. The throw to second is not going to be in time, and Robert Matai is going to be safe at second there. One 0. Isdell takes a look over his left shoulder, goes into his windup, and swing and a miss from Hughes evens things up at 1-1. 3-0 Goldpanners, bottom of the first inning. 1 out. Runner on second. That is Robert Matai. First three batters for the Goldpanners have all come up and scored in the same fashion that they did last evening in their 10-2 victory. The 1-1 comes in, and this one goes foul right near where we're at, excuse me, and brings us to 1-2. In the on-deck circle is Travis Warner, and in the hole is Caden Hogan. The 1-2. And that fastball is going to miss high for ball 2. Alec Ackerman at third base, his brother at first base. Ackerman getting a day off last evening. Brady Miguel sitting in his place at third until the infield lineup got a little messed up when Chatterton came onto the mound, so they switched it up a little bit in the 8th inning. The 2-2 is set to come in, and a check swing there. Looks like they're going to call it strike 3, but it's going to be dropped by Fisher, and he's going to get the out at first to make it 2 outs. So Dominic Hughes with a drop strike 3 strikeout
Travis Warner.
to give Isdale his first strikeout of the game. And Travis Warner comes up to the plate. Warner, someone we saw play at second base on Monday. He also got some time on the mound. He attends Yavapai College and is from Glendale, Arizona. 3-0 Goldpanners as Isdale goes into his windup, and this fastball misses outside for ball 1. 79 degrees and partly cloudy in the Fairbanks area. Not quite as warm as the 84 degrees last evening, as Isdale steps off the mound for a little to take a look at Robert Matai at second base, who's leading off. Isdale, the look over his left shoulder, goes through his windup for the 1-0, catches Warner swinging strike 1. Much shorter game time last evening compared to Monday evening. Game time approximately 2.5 hours compared to the near 3 hours, a little over 3 hours we had on Monday night. So the 1-1 comes in, and this fastball is going to just miss the outside edge of the zone for 2-1. The 2-1. Off goes Matai to third base, and the throw from Fisher does not get there in time. And Matai is going to advance to third and put a runner in scoring position, but still 2 outs. 3-1 count, though, for Travis Warner at the plate for the Goldpanners. Bottom of the first inning. Collegians held scoreless in the top of the inning, and now trail 3-0. The 3-0 comes in. And that fastball is going to miss up and outside for ball 4. And that'll put runners on the corners for Caden Hogan.
Shortstop, number 14, Caden Hogan.
Caden Hogan out of UC Davis. Talked about him a little bit last night. High school teammate of Collegians catcher Lane Oliphant. Lane Oliphant not catching today. Garrett Fisher getting the start as this one is going to miss high for ball 1 from Isdale. Michael Potter starting on Monday night for the Collegians. Grayson Gifford getting the start last evening, and Isdale now on the bump for game 3. 1-0 pitch from Isdale. This one's going to be chopped foul just above the Collegians dugout and bring up a 1-1. A little bit breezy, not quite as windy as it was last evening. So the 1-1 comes in, and it's going to catch the top of the zone, and there it is, strike 2. It's not quite as windy this evening. Last evening, I actually had a few papers fly away, some scorecards and rosters that I have with me. One of them landed on the field, luckily not during the field of play, but that is how far it blew, so having to keep tabs on that. As the 1-2 comes in, it's going to be way inside, nearly catches the left knee of Hogan, but it's going to be caught by Fisher for ball 2. Want to shout out Big Daddy's Barbecue for hosting the Collegians for lunch today up here in Fairbanks, Alaska. The 2-2 comes in, and it's going to be sent foul to the backstop. Expected rain showers coming in Friday and Saturday evening up here, but besides that, great weather for our trip up here. So the 2-2 comes in from Isdale, and swing and a miss, strike 3. And Hogan, upset with himself, throws his bat, his gloves, and his helmet as he swings and misses at Isdale's pitch there, which was called for strike number 3. And so Isdale gets 2 strikeouts. Goldpanners do score 3 runs, to take a 3-run lead going into the top of the 2nd. Collegians fall behind early once again, as they have the last 2 meetings. We'll see what they have in them on the batter side of things, as we'll take a quick break and update the score in the chat. And we'll return to Fairbanks very soon. Very quick turnaround into the top of the 2nd, as we go with the Collegians down 3-0 to the Alaska Goldpanners. Up right now is Nolan Ackerman, the first baseman on the day. He takes this first pitch for strike 1. Nolan Ackerman out of San Mateo College in California. Played for the Colorado Sox this season out of the Rocky Mountain Baseball League, a local league in Colorado, as this one is going to be outside for ball one. Local league in Colorado, but Hayes Larks were just crowned champions of that league after defeating the Rough Riders last evening in Hayes, Kansas. So the Hayes Larks will be heading to Wichita along with the Collegians next month. Nolan Ackerman, one at bat so far on this trip and got a base hit for himself on Monday evening. Came in last night to first base but did not get an at bat, so first start for him as this pitch from Pimental goes outside for ball three. In the on-deck circle is Sean D. And Pimental throws this one in. It's going to be tipped back and bring up a full count. It's been great to have Nolan Ackerman up here in Alaska on the trip. It's been a great addition to this Collegian squad. He gets set for this 3-2 to come in, and he swings at this one and sends it line drive into center field. And that one is going to be grabbed out there for out number one. And so he makes some good contact on it, but cannot get it to drop.
Number 6, Sean D.
And that brings up Sean D. Sean D got on base 4 times last night. Had 3 base hits and a walk. He also came all the way around home for one of the Collegians' 2 runs last evening. So he takes this one for ball 1. One 0 coming in. D swings hard at this one. A little bit inside, but it's going to be called strike 1 after he swings. In the on-deck circle is Alec Ackerman. The 1-1, and this one low pitch. D swings at it and brings up strike 2. Sean D has started all 3 games and has played 4 different positions for Boulder on this trip. Today playing in the outfield for the first time. As the 1-2 comes in, and that one's going to be high. And off the glove of number 28, Blake Fitzgerald. And this pitch goes outside and loads things up. Collegians looking for their second base runner of the evening. As the 3-2 comes in, and fastball is going to just miss the zone. And it's going to put Sean D on first base for Alec Ackerman to come up.
Number 22, Alec Ackerman.
Ackerman again getting a rest day last evening, did not play, and is all fresh and ready for game number 2 here as he hacks at this one and sends it foul down the third base line. Runner on first, that's Sean D, second base runner of the day for Boulder after Brady Miguel got himself on base from a single into right field in the first inning. In the on-deck circle is Garrett Fisher with Nick Up still rounding out the order in the hole, in the 9 hole. Pimentel with a look to first base. And calls time and steps off the mound. Left-handed pitcher taking a look at Sean D, making sure he's not going anywhere at first. Pimentel with a slow start to his season, but has really been playing well as of late. As this one comes in, it's a breaking ball, and it looks like it's going to dot the edge of the zone. Strike 2. Oh, 2. That one way outside. Brings up 1 and 2. Collegians swung the bat very well, scoring 7 runs in the top of the third on Monday evening. Last night having a little more trouble. Had a few instances where it looked like they were going to strike late in the game. I believe it was the 7th inning, had the bases loaded with no outs and then grounded into a double play. One of the outs coming at home as this second pitch, or this fourth pitch, excuse me, is outside for ball 2. That brings up 2 and 2. Grounded into a double play. That made it 2 outs. There were still 2 runners on, but then the next batter was retired, and the Collegians were unable to score any runs in an inning where they had the bases loaded with no outs. So they didn't have a hard time making contact on the ball. As Pimentel goes back to first here, and the tag from Pierce is not in time. Didn't have a hard time making contact on the ball. It was just getting contact at the right time, getting the ball into the field of play. They extended a lot of at-bats, hitting a lot of foul balls, getting the pitch count up from Garrett Cooper, the starter, but were just unable to take advantage and only scored 2 runs as the 2-2 comes in, and this one's going to be hacked foul near the Collegians dugout down the right field line. Preston Tenney now serving as the first base coach. Carter Henninger was the first base coach in the first inning. As Pimentel takes a look at first at Sean D, goes into his windup, and Ackerman sends this one down the middle, and it's going to be slid and grabbed by Warner, and he's going to turn 2 there. Great grab from him as he steps on the bag to get D out and then throws the ball to first base and gets Alec Ackerman out to retire the side. So again, Collegians just unable to take advantage when runners are on base and are held scoreless for yet another inning as we go into the bottom of the second inning with Ian Isdale back on the mound. Collegians trail 3-0. Back in Fairbanks, Alaska for the bottom of the second inning, and Three UNC Bears right in front of our eyes right now. As Carson Gross comes up to the place as the designated hitter, and he sends this one into center field. Well hit past the outstretched arms of Brady Miguel and gets on base. Carson Gross, middle infielder out of the University of Northern Colorado. Ian Isdale and Garrett Fisher also attending that school up in Greeley.
Glasgow.
And so Isdale, unlikely probably to trick up Gross on any of his pitches as he's used to seeing them. Isdale taking a look at first base as we're back to the top of the order with Luke Glasgow. Glasgow with a single in the first inning, and then came around and scored. This first pitch comes in, and it's going to miss low for ball one. One 0 pitch comes in, and this one dots the edge of the zone inside. Strike one, catches Glasgow looking. Leading off at first is Carson Gross. Isdale, the left-handed pitcher, taking a look at him there, making sure he's not leading off too much. Nolan Ackerman for Boulder with his right foot on first base. Back to first goes Isdale. This pitch comes in, and it's going to be tipped off the face mask of Garrett Fisher and put Isdale up 1-2 in the count. Bottom of the second inning, Alaska Goldpanners lead the Boulder Collegians 3-0 after 3 first-inning runs. Isdale continuing to keep an eye on Gross there. The 1-2 off goes Gross, and this ball is going to be sent into shallow left field. Gross is going to go around second, mishandled by Upstill, and Gross is going to go home and slide face first for the 4th run of the inning. Carson Gross gets himself a head start, beginning to steal second there. Glasgow gets some good contact on it and sends it into left field, and the left fielder for the Boulder Collegians, Nick Upstill, just unable to handle that cleanly. And that allows Gross to make his way all the way home and Glasgow to make his way to second for his second hit of the day. Now up to the plate is Grady Morgan. He also has a first base and also came around and scored in the first inning. Four runs now for Alaska as they lead 4-0 in the bottom of the second inning. Look over his left shoulder. The 1-0 pitch comes in, and this one is an off-speed pitch that breaks beautifully inside for strike one. Collegians struggled with this early last evening, giving up some runs early in the game and not getting much support from the bats. As the 1-1 is set to come in, and this one's going to be set deep into right field, and this one's going way back. Sean D is at the wall, and that thing's over the fence as Grady Morgan sends a bomb into deep right field, and it's good for a 2-run homer that's going to bring him and Glasgow home and extend this lead to 6-0.
Now batting, number 18, Ryan Pierce.
First pitch from Isdale comes in, and Ryan Pierce smacks this one into right field for another hit. That's the 8th hit of the game now for Alaska already, just through 2 innings.
Now batting number 25, David Barton.
First pitch in from Isdale. That one's going to go right down the middle for strike 1. Oh, 1 count. 3 runs in the bottom of the first and 3 runs in the bottom of the second puts the Alaska Goldpanners up 6-0 with no outs here, as this one's going to miss the top of the zone for ball 1. Ryan Pierce on first base for the Goldpanners. Up to the plate right now is David Martin, the catcher. And this one's going to go past, and Pierce is going to advance to second. Off the pass ball that cannot be handled by Garrett Fisher. Isdale, the look over his left shoulder, goes into his windup, and this one's going to be sent foul into the parking lot. 2-2.
That's a Denali State Bank foul ball.
In the on-deck circle is Robert Matai. Two-two pitch. Swing and a miss. That one's going to be low. Drop strike 3 as Fisher handles it, throws a Tackerman at first, and gets the out for the 3rd strikeout of the game for Isdale.
Now batting number 17, Rob Matei.
And that one is also going to be good for the first out of the inning. Isdale goes into his windup and throws this one in for strike 1 to Matei. The 0-1, and Isdale steps off the mound for a moment. Oh, 1 pitch, and this one's going to miss outside 1-1. All 3 starting pitchers for Boulder this week have struggled to keep the Goldpanners off the bases. So the 1-1 comes in, and this one's going to miss outside for ball 2. Two-one. Isdale to look over his left shoulder. This one comes in. It's going to be shot down the first base line, out of reach of Ackerman. And we will be at 2-2. Boulder in their white uniforms this evening. Their home white uniforms, first time this week they rep those, and the Goldpanners will be in their classic red uniforms with yellow trim. 2-2 count comes in. This one low and outside, and that's going to load things up at 3-2. Collegians wearing their baby blue away uniforms, with some navy blue and yellow trim on that. As the 3-2 is set to come in from Isdale, and it's going to be grounded to Ackerman down the third base line. He fields it, throws to first, and a great throw from Alec Ackerman all the way across the infield to his brother at first base to get the second out
Number 1, Dominic Hughes.
of the inning. And Ackerman there, maybe if he would have let it run a few more feet down the third base line, it would have gone foul, but he elects to pick it up. And Ackerman with that strong arm, certainly one of the best third basemen in the entire MHCBL, just whips that ball hard across the infield, and his brother knows exactly what to do and catches it for the second out. But right here,
Now batting, number 1, Dominic Hughes.
Isdale hits the left arm there. Of the batter. It looks like that was Robert Matai who he hit the arm of. And now Dominic Hughes comes up to the plate, as this one's going to be inside and almost hit Hughes on the right elbow and be called for ball 1. So Isdale, that one didn't look like it had hit Matai cleanly, but they called that it hit him. Maybe it hit off his shirt a little bit, but he takes a base, so that puts him on first with Ryan Pierce on second. 1 out in the bottom of the second. As this pitch comes in, and it's a breaking ball that just doesn't break enough and stays above the zone for ball 2. Runners on first and second for the Goldpanners with 1 out. They lead 6-0 as we are in the bottom of the second inning. Isdale with a look over his left shoulder. He goes into his windup, throws this one in, and it's a fastball that misses high. And he falls behind 3-0 in the count. Three out. And that one's going to dot the edge of the zone for strike 1. Collegians are going to look to throw Isdale and try to get him out of this inning. So he takes a look over his left shoulder and goes into his windup on the 3-1, and this one, a check swing. They want to see if he went all the way. He actually made a little bit of contact on it, and Fisher arguing with the call, saying that that should have loaded up the count at 3-2. And Fisher arguing a bit there. To me, it looked like it may have hit off the bat of Hughes, landed in the glove of Fisher, and just dropped out. So that would normally just be called a foul ball. And that would have loaded things up at 3-2. But it looks like that's going to do it for Isdale as he comes out with the bases loaded. Only 1 out. And the Collegians are going to look to bring in Lucas Quezada for his first outing in this Alaska trip, as he'll try to get the Collegians out of this bottom of the second inning, where the Goldpanners have tacked on 3 more runs to make it 6-0 with just 1 out. We're going to take a quick break and return to Fairbanks in just a moment. And we're back in Fairbanks after a quick pitching change. Puts Quezada on the mound, and he comes out hot with a fastball that misses just high for ball 1 to the second baseman, Travis Warner. Travis Warner walked and got on base in the first inning. Was not able to come all the way around home. As the second pitch comes in, and this is going to be another fastball that misses outside. Ball 2. Ian Isdale pitching 1 1/3 inning and comes out of the game as the bases are now loaded for the Alaska Goldpanners. The 2-0 comes in, and this one's going to just miss high and outside for ball 3. On first base is Dominic Hughes. On second base is Robert Matee. And on third base is Ryan Pierce, as Warner digs at this one and misses it for strike 1. Three-1 now. Quezada into his windup. Throws this pitch and swing and a miss from Warner there. Strike 2. So Quezada catches up in the zone, or catches up in the count, and loads things up at 3-2. Last thing Collegians want right now is to walk a run in. As the 3-2 comes in, and Warner sends this one foul. In the on-deck circle is Caden Hogan. Collegians could really use double play ball right now as Quezada throws into this one, and Warner reaches for it and sends it into the right field stands to extend the pitch count out. Quezada got the start in the second game against the NoCo Roughnecks. He prepares for this 3-2 pitch, and it's going to just be outside for ball 4. And that's going to bring in one more run as Ryan Pierce crosses home plate and scores for the 7th run of the game for the Goldpanners. Quezada with a good fight there after falling behind 3-0. Gets back into it, 3-2, and then just throws that last one outside for ball 4. First pitch coming in. Hogan gets some contact on it, goes down the first base line and out. Running after it there is Nolan Ackerman. Bases loaded now, still 1 out, 7-0 Goldpanners. Next pitch comes in, and this one going to dot the edge of the zone, strike 2. So Quezada gets himself in a good situation. As Carson Gross is in the on-deck circle. 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss high. Strike 3. And great work there from Quezada to come into the game and get a strikeout to the second batter he throws against. And so surely that's going to boost his confidence a little bit as we have Carson Gross coming up for his second at-bat of the inning. Bases still loaded, but now 2 outs as Quezada throws to him, and this one going to catch the top corner of the zone for strike 1. Slight breeze, upper 70s, as Hogan gets under this one and sends it to second base. Miguel with a great grab and throws it to first Ackerman to retire the side. And so a hard hit ball from Carson Gross, but Miguel is able to handle it and make the throw to first to get the Collegians out of that inning, but not before the Goldpanners tack on 4 more runs and take an early 7-0 lead, as the Collegians will be back up to the plate to try and dig into this large deficit early. We'll take a quick break and then return to Fairbanks in just a moment. Back to Alaska for the top of the third inning, and Collegians already in a big hole early. So we approach the bottom of the order with Garrett Fisher leading off, and he takes this first pitch for strike one from Pimental. Fisher gets some contact on this one, and Pierce handles it and runs to first for out number one. Up now is Nick Upstill.
Now batting number 23, Nick Upstill.
Upstill with his first at-bat of the game. Upstill had himself a solid outing last night. Got on base 3 times. He prepares for his first at-bat in this one. And he takes this one for strike one. Upstill with also some amazing grabs out in left field last evening. Had a few sliding grabs that retired the side as he swings and misses at this low and outside ball to bring up a quick 0-2 count. Collegians trail 7-0 in the top of the third inning, 1 out, and an 0-2 count to Nick Upstill from Pimental, the left-handed pitcher for the Goldpanners out of the University of Arizona. The 0-2 comes in, and this one's going to be tipped up and hits the top of the net to keep us at 0-2. Collegians will return to Boulder on Sunday after the conclusion of Saturday night's game here in Fairbanks. The 0-2 is set to come in, and this one down the middle, and Upstill is caught looking for strike 3, and all he can do is turn back and walk to the dugout as we're back to the top of the order with Ryan Vogel.
Number 1, Ryan Vogel.
Pitch coming in from Pimental, and Vogel shows bunt. It's going to teeter down the right field line, but it's going to just go foul. And Vogel seems to do that. He was 0 for 3 yesterday, and then pulled up to the plate, laid down a bunt, and outran the throw to first to get on base. And that seems to really get him going on the offensive end. One of the best base runners on this Boulder team. So if you can just get him on base, he's so dangerous. And he uses that speed a lot in the outfield as well. A lot of deep hit balls that he just uses the speed and he gets to, and he makes it look easy. As the 0-1 comes up, and it's going to be way inside a check swing. They're going to call him strike 2. In the on-deck circle is Brady Miguel. Brady Miguel with the only hit so far for Boulder, as Vogel's 0 for 1 on the day with a strikeout in the first inning. 0-2. And Vogel gets some contact on it and sends it into shallow left. And on the diving grab, it is going to drop. The right fielder, Luke Glasgow, is not going to be able to snag that one. And so Vogel's going to get himself on base. And a dangerous hitter, Brady Miguel, is now coming up.
Brady Miguel.
Miguel with the base hit into the right field hole in the first inning to get on base. Ryan Vogel now on. Likely going to be looking to steal. We'll see if Pimental will be looking at him at first for the possible pickoff play. First pitch into Miguel, and Miguel hacks at this one. It's a slow roller to second. Miguel goes, and he's going to be safe at first. Warner slides over from short after the ball was hit to second. A slow rolling hit that just goes under the glove of the pitcher, Pimental. Warner picks it up and throws it to first, but Miguel uses some speed to beat the throw. And that also advances Ryan Vogel to second. And so Collegians now with 2 runners on with 2 outs as the designated hitter Jackson Chatterton comes up. And Chatterton with a strikeout in the first inning. Pimental with a look over his left shoulder. Looks back at the mound, goes into his windup, sends this one in, and it's going to miss the top of the zone for ball 1. So 2 of the fastest players on the team on base now for Boulder. We'll see if manager Tony Rico at third is going to send them to advance or not. One-0 comes in, good for strike 1. In the on-deck circle is John Gazdar. The 1-1. That one drops into the zone for strike 2. So Chatterton finds himself behind 1-2 here with 2 outs. Collegians with no runs so far, down 7-0 in the top of the 3rd inning. One, two, both runners take off. Chatterton swings at this one, doesn't get anything on it, and it's going to be good for strike 3 and out number 3, as Collegians leave 2 runners on base and can't take advantage. And so we head into the bottom half of the 3rd. Lucas Quezada going to return to the bump to pitch in inning number 3, as we'll take a quick break from Fairbanks and be right back. Quick turnaround as we're back to the top of the order in the bottom of the 3rd inning with Lucas Quezada on the mound. He throws this first pitch to Luke Glasgow, and it's going to be a ball as the 1-0 is set to come in. It's going to be way inside, ball 2. Quezada, out of Stapleton, Colorado, is planning to attend San Francisco State University, has not even stepped foot on campus, graduated in the class of 2020. As this 2-1 comes in, it's going to be low and outside for a quick 3-0 count. Graduated in the class of 2020. San Francisco State did not have a season, so he did not head out there to the Bay Area. Stayed home. This is his first time playing baseball in over a year as the 3-0 comes in. It's going to be inside once more and put a quick runner on base for Grady Morgan.
29. Grady Morgan.
And Quezada, serving as the Collegians' closer for a lot of the season, has come in and, as we said earlier, started in that second game against the NoCo Roughnecks as he gets some good placement on this breaking ball for strike one. Starting that second game where the Collegians won 9-5, which helped them officially clinch the MHCBL League title. And now we see him coming in relief early and likely going to pitch quite a few innings as he throws another breaking ball. It's going to be outside for ball one. And Quezada, a hard thrower on this team, one of the hardest on the team. Him and Carter Henninger, probably the two hardest throwers on the Collegians roster as Morgan gets some contact on this one. Diving catch from Miguel. And Miguel with a great diving grab throws to second to get the force out. But the throw to first will not be in time, but Collegians are able to get Glasgow out at second to make it 1 out on the inning. Brings up Ryan Pierce, and Ryan Pierce getting 2 hits on his first 2 at-bats. Swings hard at this one for strike one. And we see Quezada, fresh out the gate, was going with a lot of fastballs. And as we said, he's very good at that and really relies on that a lot. But now we see him switching to the breaking ball a little bit more in the bottom of the third inning and switching up some hitters as he goes back to the fastball there. And they're going to call it ball one. This pitch comes in, it's going to bounce off the dirt for ball two. Two, 1, and that one just going to sit outside for ball 3. And the Goldpanners been great hosts to us here in Fairbanks, providing us with transportation and hospitality here at the stadium, at our hotel, and just being so welcoming of us for this 6-game series. As the 3-1 comes in, it's going to drop low and outside, and Morgan's going to advance to second to put 2 runners on. Brings up David Martin, the catcher, who is 1 for 2 on the day, had an RBI double in the first inning and then struck out on his last at-bat. But Goldpanners this season are no stranger to long series like the one we're seeing now.
Number 25, David Martin.
We're just at game 3 now in this 6-game series. And it's been entertaining so far. A very entertaining game number 1 with a great crowd here, great atmosphere, and a high-scoring affair that saw us 23 runs scored combined on the teams. Collegians scored 14, Goldpanners scored 9. And both teams just really swinging the bat well. So for offensive-minded baseball fans, definitely would have enjoyed that matchup. But last night, it was really only fun for the Goldpanners as the Collegians struggled and dropped that game 10-2. As runners on first and second now with 1 out as Quezada pitches to Martin. His first pitch is going to be low and outside for ball 1. And the Goldpanners this season have gone independent. They usually play in a league up here in Alaska, and a few years back headed down to the NBC tournament after winning this league. As the 1-0 comes in, it's going to be high and outside for ball 2. But this season electing to go independent and host a lot of teams like the Boulder Collegians. The Utah Marshals were up here last week. Pride Baseball will come out of South Carolina next week. And Pride Baseball actually already in the state of Alaska, as this one's going to drop into the zone. Great off-speed pitch from Quezada there for strike 1. Pride Baseball already in Alaska, playing some teams down in Anchorage and throughout the state before they head up here for a series with the Goldpanners. Quezada with a look over his right shoulder and goes. Both runners will take off as this one's going to be sent foul by Martin and bring us up to 2-2. Goldpanners still with the 7-0 lead in the bottom of the third inning. Have 2 runners on. Ryan Pierce at first and Grady Morgan at second. As we have a 2-2 count for Quezada on Martin. Into his windup. And that one, slider is going to just miss the bottom corner of the zone and load things up at 3-2. The 3-2, both runners take off. And it looks like they're going to call time there. So both runners took off. But time was called, and so they will not advance to second and third. They will stay on first and second. Still just 1 out. Quezada pitches on in the full count and takes a look back at Pierce at second base. 3-2. We've seen a lot of full counts from both sides these past few days. And so we'll see if Martin extends this one out more as the 3-2 comes in, and it's going to be low and outside. Ball 4. Fisher chases after it, ensuring that Pierce doesn't come home, but the bases are going to be loaded as Quezada walks his third batter of the inning.
Now batting, number 17, Rob Matei.
Brings up Robert Matei, who has been on base twice today. Got on base off a single in the first inning and then was hit by pitch in the second inning. This is now the third time through the order for Alaska, as this one's going to be high and outside for ball 1. Bases are loaded now, just 1 out in the bottom of the third inning. Alaska still leading the Collegians 7-0. 1-0 from Quezada. That one's going to miss again. 2-0, and Fisher's going to have a word with his pitcher. And Quezada not necessarily struggling to find the zone, as he's gotten a few full counts, but just going to look to try and find it consistently now. And we talked about the Goldpanners going independent. We'll talk a second about the Collegians and their journey to becoming MHCBL titles in their first season in the league, competing in the Rocky Mountain Baseball League ever since they were reamped by Matt Jensen in 2012. And just this year, heading to the Mile High Collegiate Baseball League. Had a few non-conference games against RMBL squads. As the 2-0 comes in, it's going to be outside ball 3. Traveled to Hays, Kansas about a month ago. Took on the Hays Larks there. Hays Larks also came to Boulder for a pair of games early on 4th of July weekend. As the 3-0 comes in, it's going to be high. And that is going to walk in a run as Grady Morgan's going to come home and score the 8th run of the game for Alaska to put them up 8-0.
Now batting, number 1, Dominic Hughes.
Dominic Hughes now up to the plate. He's 0 for 1 on the day with a walk. Struck out swinging in the first inning to give Ian Isdale his second strikeout of his outing, as this first pitch is going to be high for ball 1. One 0, and that was going to drop into the zone for strike 1. And Collegian, such a historic ball club. Under new ownership this season, Mark Jensen no longer with the team, and Mark Knutson, Tony Rucco, Dan Evans, and many others now hopping on the board to take over the team. Judy Freeman also on the board We want to thank her for tuning in and being active in the chat. But this new ownership has been a change for the Collegians, as it looks like they're going to call a balk here, and the runners are going to advance home. Runners are going to advance home. That's Ryan Pierce that's going to go home on the balk. Martin's going to advance to third, and Matai is going to advance to second as Knutson comes out to talk to Quezada. But Collegians under the new ownership and will find themselves getting back to Wichita for the first time in 40 years. And so, very impressive to have so many things change in the past year with this Collegians organization, and to still go through all that adversity and come out on top of the MHCBL as champions and head back to Wichita. And this is such a historic ball club with such a rich history and following that it's great to see them return back to the national stage at the NBC tournament. Quezada's going to stay in, had a quick word with Mark Knudsen on the mound, and he's going to get set to pitch against Dominic Hughes. This ball is going to be a slow roller to third. Ackerman's going to pick it up, throw to first, and it looks like Nolan Ackerman stepped off first on the catch at first base, and so Hughes is going to be safe at first. Martin's going to head home and tack on a 10th run now for the Goldpanners and make it 10-0 Alaska. That'll put runners on the corners with Robert Matai at third base, and now Dominic Hughes at first with Travis Werner coming up to the plate. 1-2, this one gonna go outside for ball 2. Quezada just trying to get another out. Got an out early in the inning, but we've been stagnant here as this one going to go low for ball 2. Has just been stagnant here at 1 out. And only one hit. That Hughes little bouncer into the infield, as this one swings and misses for strike 1. That little Hughes bouncer in the infield to Ackerman, where Nolan Ackerman at first stepped off the bag. Not sure if they're going to label that an error or not, but that would be the only hit of the inning. And so just a lot of walks in. This one, great pitch, going to catch the zone for strike 2. Two and two, runners on first and third. This one's going to go high. Fisher grabs that one to ensure it doesn't go past, as Matai is leading off at third base and looking to go home. Dominic Hughes at first. Travis Werner, 2 walks on the day already, as the count is full now, and we'll see if he'll get his 3rd walk as Quezada goes into his windup. And this one just going to miss high, and you could see Collegians waiting for the call there. But it goes in the Goldpanners' favor for ball 4 as Werner takes his base for the 3rd time today.
Now batting, number 14, Caden Hogan.
And that advances Hughes to second base and loads up the bases once again. Still 1 out, 10-0 Goldpanners now. As the 3-2 count comes in, and it's going to be low for ball 1 on Caden Hogan. 3-2. Excuse me. 1-0. That makes it 2-0. Sorry, the scoreboard here at the Goldpanners field hadn't updated yet, but there it goes. This pitch comes in and goes low for a 3-0 count. The 3-0. And that one looks like it catches the edge of the zone. Strike one. So Hogan avoids the walk. Bases loaded, now 10-0 Alaska lead. The 3-1 comes in and swing and a miss on a pitch that breaks and goes low for a 3-2 count. As we're all loaded up on a 3-2 count with the bases loaded. We'll see if Quezada can get out of this one. The 3-2. And this one's going to be sent deep into left field. Going back is up still. And Vogel's going to cut him off in center field and catch it. Coming home is Matai. The throw in is going to miss Gazdar. And both runners will advance to second and third as one more run comes in and makes it 11-0. And Hogan gets himself an RBI double.
Now batting number 2, Carson Gross.
And we're at the bottom of the order once again with Carson Gross. Carson Gross 1 for 2 on the day, had a single, came all the way home as well, and has a run scored, grounded out to second in the second inning. 4 runs scored in this inning as the Collegians trail big 11-0, and this one's going to go down the first base line. Ackerman's going to get it. He's going to make the tag on the first base line, and that will retire the side. But another 4 runs are scored, and so Collegians' pitching struggles continue as they fall down 11-0 in the bottom of the third inning. We'll be right back with the top of the fourth. Or excuse me. Yes, with the top of the fourth after a quick break. We'll be right back from Fairbanks. Top of the fourth inning we go. John Gazdar going to lead off as Pimentel is going to remain on the mound after 3 shutout innings. This one's going to catch the top corner of the zone for strike 1. Gazdar 0 for 1 on the day, grounded out to third in the first inning, as he'll try to get on base the first time, and Collegians looking to get the bats rolling. 0-1. That one going to bounce off the knee of Martin, the catcher, for ball 1. And we'll see. Collegians need to bite into this deficit a little bit if they want to get back into this game. And I'm not sure what rules we are following up here in Alaska, if they're going to call the game if it's a 10-run lead after 5 or if it's after 7, as this one misses outside for ball 2. But Collegians, if they want to continue to try and play this whole ball game, they're going to need to get some runs here as they're down 11 early. Gazdar hits this one into deep center, and going back and making the grab out there is the Goldpanners for out number 1. And so that one with some promise on it, and it just gets caught by the center fielder, Dominic Hughes. A very deep outfield, though, and we saw a home run. That was the first home run we've had in 3 games. As Grady Morgan got a home run in the 2nd inning into deep right field. This is Nolan Ackerman up to the plate, and this one's going to catch the edge of the zone for strike 1. Ackerman with a line out to center field on his first at-bat. So this pitch comes in, and it's going to miss low and outside for ball 1. Ackerman with a hit in the game on Monday evening, so he'll try to get another one as swings at this one, and he's going to miss for strike 2. So that brings up a 1-2 count. Sean D in the on-deck circle. 1 out. Goldpanners still leave 11-0 in the top of the 4th inning. So this pitch comes in, and Ackerman's going to get some contact on it and send it back up to the press box to keep us at 1-2. Boulder uncharacteristically has given up 9+ runs in the past 3 games. And that's something that they're not used to, especially in MHCBL play, where it seems like every team they go against, they're able to limit the runs they score and put up big runs. And that's something that we haven't seen, especially in the last 2 games. As we get set for this pitch to come in, and it's going to catch the left ankle of Nolan Ackerman, and he's going to take his base to put a runner on. So Ackerman gets on base for the first time this evening. And that brings up Sean D, who's 0 for 1 on the day with a walk. Or excuse me, he's not 0 for 1, but does have a walk, so he's been on base once today, as in the on-deck circle is Alec Ackerman. Nolan Ackerman leading off at first after the hit by pitch from the left-handed pitcher Pimental for the Goldpanners. This pitch comes in, and D's gonna hit this one down the third base, or the first base line, excuse me, and it's gonna just go foul. That one tight-roping down the first base line and just goes foul before hitting the outfield. And that surely would have been extra bases. Oh and 1. Pitch comes in, and it's going to be inside for strike 2. For those of you just joining us, no scoreboard today, and we're hoping that's providing some better resolution and some better camera footage of the game for you guys. But we'll update every inning as Sean D sends this one into left field, and it's going to drop. And advancing to second is Nolan Ackerman, as Sean D gets on base for the first time, for the second time today on his first hit.
Now batting for 22, Alec Ackerman.
So 2 runners on now, still just 1 out. As Ackerman comes on after grounding out to a double play on his first at-bat. But we are going to continue to update in the live chat, so if you're not in the live chat, stay in there as we'll update every half inning on what's going on here as Ackerman hacks at this one and sends it foul to bring up 0-1. Collegians will likely play 2 games next week against the Colorado Cannons. Those are the only 2 MHCBL games left that have not been scheduled. We're unsure if that one was going to be labeled a no contest or not, but it's looking like we may get those in, possibly at Ponderosa High School down south of Denver, as the 0-1 comes in, and Ackerman's going to see it go below the zone for ball 1. Again, Alaska still up 11-0, but Collegians showing some promise here in the top of the 4th to possibly get some runs on the board as they have runners on first and second. That's Nolan Ackerman at second and Sean D at first. 1-1 pitch from the left-handed starter for the Goldpanners, Pimental, as he sends this one in. It's going to catch the bottom corner of the zone for strike number 2. And this one's going to be hacked foul near the Collegians dugout. And Alec Ackerman attending San Mateo College before transferring to San Jose State, where he played the past 2 seasons. San Mateo College currently where his younger brother, Nolan Ackerman, who's leading off at second, attends. The 1-2. Ackerman gets some contact on it. It's going to be sent to second. They turn 1, and they're going to turn 2 to retire the side. So second time Ackerman has grounded into a double play. And again, the side is going to be retired for Boulder. And they still have no runs after 4 innings. And we'll head into the bottom of the 4th with the Collegians still down 11-0. We'll be right back from Fairbanks. Bottom of the fourth we go from Fairbanks, Alaska, as the Collegians will make another pitching change and put the right-handed hurler Adam Shue onto the mound for his first pitching outing of the trip, and he'll pitch against Luke Glasgow. So the first pitch from him is going to be high and outside for ball one. Adam Shue's last outing was against the NoCo Roughnecks on Saturday in the first game of the doubleheader in that 3-2 loss, as this one is going to be grounded to first. Ackerman's going to pick it up, and he's going to throw to Shue at first for out number one.
Now batting number 29, Grady Morgan.
Grady Morgan now comes up. Grady Morgan has scored all 3 times around the base path, and he had a 2-run homer for himself in the second inning. It's the only home run of the series so far, and he crushed that thing into right field. As the 1-0 comes in, and this one's going to be popped up down the third base line. Alec Ackerman getting under it, and he's going to handle it with ease for a quick 2 outs for Boulder. And a good start to Adam Shue's day. Adam Shue going to attend the University of San Francisco in the fall, along with Lane Oliphant. And his first pitch into Ryan Pierce. Excuse me. Looks like this is going to be Chase Rodriguez coming in place of Ryan Pierce to bat. The 1-0 is going to be sent foul. And Ryan Pierce, another player who has scored all 3 times around the base path. He has an RBI double, a single, and has walked on the day.
That's a Goldpanners foul ball.
And Adam Shue goes into his rotation here on the 2-2, and this one's going to be sent foul and keep us at 2-2. Two-two count on the left-handed batter, Chase Rodriguez for the Goldpanners. Adam Shue on the mound as no runners are on, and the Goldpanners lead 11-0 in the bottom of the fourth. This one going to be low inside for ball 3. And Shue on the windup, and this one's going to be sent into deep short, and Gazdar's going to handle it to retire the side, and so Collegians go out in order, or Goldpanners go out in order, and Collegians get their first 1-2-3 inning and their first shutout inning of the game so far as we head into the top of the 5th. Score is still 11-0. Top of the 5th inning we go, and Collegians get their first shutout inning of the contest so far with a 1-2-3 inning with Adam Shue coming in to replace Lucas Quezada, and he does a good job on the mound, as Pimentel is going to stay on the mound and Fisher's going to send this one back for an 0-1 count. The 0-1. Fisher swings low at this one. 0-2. Pimentel into his windup, and this one's going to be high near the head of Fisher for ball 1. The 1-2. Low and outside again, 2-2. Fisher only been up to the plate once. Grounded out to first on that at bat. But Collegians have, this is only their second time through the order. So we're here in the top of the 5th inning. The 2-2 comes in, and this one low and way inside. And Fisher catches up in the count to make it 3-2. And this one's going to miss outside, and Fisher's going to take his base. Put a runner on first for Nick Upstill.
Now batting for 23, Nick Upstill.
Upstill 0 for 1. Struck out looking in the 3rd inning as he sends this one high down the third base line, and it's going to be caught easily there by Pirticello for out number 1.
Number 1, Ryan Vogel.
Up now is Ryan Vogel. Vogel got on base from a base hit on his previous at-bat. And now coming on with a runner on, will look to continue that success. Look at first from Pimentel, and this one's going to be sent foul.
Big Ross, Fort Knox, foul ball.
The 0-1. That one's going to bounce off the plate and bring us to 1-1. Ryan Vogel out of Bradley University. Grew up in the Peoria, Illinois area. Him and Jackson Chatterton both growing up in that area and attending Bradley University, and coming out here to play for the Collegians this summer, as Vogel gets some contact on that one. And he'll regroup for the next pitch. One, two. Vogel chops this one foul down the third baseline. Fisher on first base, and again, I'm not entirely sure if the Collegians, if they do not score any more runs this inning, if the game would be over. There are some rules that say after 5 innings, if it is a 10-run ball game, then the game ends, but there are some also that say after 7 innings if it's a 10-run ball game. So we'll have to wait and see what happens after this inning. If the 1-2 comes in, Vogel gets some contact on it, it's going to just go out of reach there of Warner. And Vogel's going to get on base for his second base hit of the evening.
Number 8. Again.
And that brings up Brady Miguel now. With one out, runners on first and second, Vogel on first, Fisher on second. And Miguel gets some contact on this one. They're going to look to turn 2 here, and the throw to first is going to go past. Miguel's going to go to second. Fisher's going to come home. And they're going to get the one out from Vogel at second. But Fisher is going to come home for the first run of the game for Boulder. And Miguel's going to get to second.
Now batting number 4, Jackson.
And that brings up Jackson Chatterton, who struck out twice on the day so far. $11-1 now. Goldpanners lead, one out. Runner on second, that's Brady Miguel with Jackson Chatterton at the plate. In the on-deck circle is John Gazdar as Pimentel throws this first pitch. It's a fastball that misses high for ball 1. So Miguel gets on base for his third base hit of the game. So Miguel doing a good job swinging the bat today. Pimentel takes a look over his left shoulder and throws into Chatterton. Chatterton takes a hard swing at this. And that one goes in for strike 1. The 1-1, Miguel on second. Pimentel into his windup. Chatterton shows bunt. And likely they're going to... Oh, never mind. They're going to call it ball 2, so they're not going to say he went there. Two-one count. Runner on second, that's Garrett Fisher. Jackson Chatterton at the plate with one out in the top of the 5th. Chatterton swings at this one and sends it straight up. Miguel running. And it looks like they're going to get the out there. And that looks like that's going to be out number 3. And Adam Shue looks like he's going to come back onto the mound. And so it looks like the Collegians are going to play another inning, so it's not going to be 10 runs after 5. So we are still going to play out here in Fairbanks and get more baseball as Adam Schue's going to come on the mound again and see if he can pitch another shutout inning. We'll take a quick break as the Collegians get 1 run to dig into this 11-1 deficit as they trail to the Goldpanners going into the bottom of the 5th. We'll be right back from Fairbanks. Bottom of the 5th, Adam Shue going to remain on the mound. This first pitch is going to be sent foul from number 25, David Martin. And Martin, 1 for 2 on the day with a walk, got an RBI double for himself. So this one's going to go low and outside for ball 1. Got an RBI double for himself in the first inning. The 1-1 set to come in. And it's going to bounce off the plate for 2-1 count. The 2-1. That one's going to be low for ball 3. Some contact on that from Martin to load things up at 3-2. And Martin goes this one to first base. Diving for it is Ackerman, and he makes the throw to first to Shue for out number 1. Great play there from Nolan Ackerman as he dives out for that hard-driven ball by Martin and gets the ball to first base to Shue for out 1 in the bottom of the 5th.
Now batting number 33, Marco Piricello.
Marco Piricello coming in now, and he's going to bat in place of Robert Matee, who started at third base. Got on base all 3 times up to the plate. So Piricello comes up for his first at-bat. And this one's going to catch the right elbow of him, and he's going to take his base to put a runner on.
Now batting number 1, Dominic Hughes.
Brings up Dominic Hughes. Dominic Hughes, 1 for 2 on the day, struck out in the first inning, got a walk, and then got on base from a infield single in the 3rd inning. Shue with a look over his left shoulder at first. He's going to throw this one in, and it's going to be right down the middle. Excuse me, looks like it's going to go a little high, going to be called ball 1. 11-1. Goldpanners lead right now, as there's 1 out in the bottom of the 5th and a runner on first for Alaska. Adam Shue on the mound on the 1-0, and this one's going to catch the bottom of the zone. That one's going to be called good for strike 1. The 1-1 as Shue goes back for a pickoff move to Piricello and keeps him honest there at first. Travis Warner, the second baseman in the on-deck circle. And this is Dominic Hughes, the center fielder on the day. This one's thrown in, and it's going to miss outside for ball 2. Adam Shue, a late arrival for this Collegians squad, was finishing up high school out in Oregon early into June. So got here late, but has been a great addition to this squad. Came right before the Hayes Lark strip as this 2-1 comes in, and this one's going to be sent into deep right field, and it's going to just go foul off the wall. And that one had some pace on it, and Sean D was chasing after it, and that one was inches from going over the fence. Would have been foul anyways, but if it was just a few inches further and a few inches to the left, that thing would have been out of here, and it would have been a similar home run to the one we saw Grady Morgan hit earlier. Two now. Shu goes into his windup and throws this one. It's going to be high for ball 3. As we prepare for the full count here. Three-two pitch, and that one's going to be just outside for ball 4. So that's going to put 2 runners on now.
Number 4, Travis Warren.
And it's going to advance Piricello to second. Still just 1 out. As Travis Warner comes up for his 4th at-bat, and he has walked all 3 times up to the plate today. And so he comes on with runners on first and second. First time Shu pitching against him. He throws to him and catches this one, ball 1. One 0. It's going to be low and caught by Fisher for ball 2. The 2-0 pitch, and Warner's going to get some contact on this one, send it up to us here at the press box.
Fantastic. Satterberg Law Office.
Two and 1. And this one's going to be sent into deep center. Going after it is Vogel. Both runners will stay where they're at as he makes the grab out there for out 2. And both runners will stay at first and second. Now with 2 outs.
Now batting, number 14, Hayden Hogan.
Caden Hogan up now. He's 1 for 3 on the day. Has a pair of strikeouts, but got himself an RBI double on his last at-bat. And he sends this one down the third base line, and it's going to be fair, it looks like. And they're going to throw to first, and it's not going to be in time. That one looked like it went foul after bouncing over third base. And, yeah, they're going to call this one back. And so the umps are having a discussion with each other, but I certainly thought that one went foul as it bounced over third base and went to the left. Alec Ackerman still played it, didn't get the throw in time to first, but judging by the runners returning back to where they're at first and second, safe to say that that one is going to not be called a fair ball. So here we are, 0-1 now to Hogan. Hogan comes up with 2 outs as Shu throws to him, and this is a nice breaking ball that drops into the zone for strike 2. Runners on first and second, that's Piricello on second, and Travis Warner on first. Oh, 2. And Warner gets some contact on it, but sends it up and foul. And keeps us at 0 balls and 2 strikes. Oh, 2 pitch comes in. That one's going to be low. Called ball 1. So we'll see if Shu can get out of this inning. He pitched a shutout inning in the bottom of the 4th in his debut. No one warming up right now for the Collegians down the right field line, so Shu will likely stay in the game as the 1-2 comes up and he throws this one in. It's going to be low and outside. Ball 2. The 2-2 from Adam Shue goes high, and we're loaded up at 3-2. Big pitch coming up here. There's runners on first and second with 2 outs. A ball could load the bases up, and a strike could get us out of this. So we'll see what Shue has in store here as he preps for this 3-2 count. 3-2, he comes off the mound for a moment. And swing and a miss, strike 3. Great fastball that was high, tricked up Hogan a little bit. And Hogan a little frustrated with himself after he strikes out for the 3rd time. But Shue comes in and delivers for the Collegians. 2 shutout innings. And he keeps this at an 11-1 ball game as we head into the top of the 6th inning. We'll take a quick break and then be right back from Fairbanks. Top of the 6th inning, John Gazdar to lead off as he comes on 0 for 2 on the day. And this first pitch comes in, and this is a new pitcher, Buddy Pindell out of the University of Hawaii, hometown is Las Vegas, Nevada, comes in and throws ball 1 on a slider. 1-0, and Gazdar tips this one foul. Brings us to 1-1. Great outing so far from Adam Shue. 2 shutout innings, the first 2 shutout innings of the evening for the Boulder Collegians as the 1-1 comes into Gazdar, and he gets some contact on this one, but it pops up into right field and is an easy play for the right fielder out there, Luke Glasgow, for out number 1.
Now batting number 18, Nolan Ackerman.
Brings up Nolan Ackerman, who comes on and got on base on his last time up. He was hit by a pitch and made his way all the way to third, but they could not get him home. So he takes this first pitch and he lets it go for strike 1. And a great outing for Pimental, the pitcher out of the University of Arizona who pitched 5 innings for the Goldpanners. So this first pitch comes in. It's going to be tipped back and bring us to a quick 0-2. And Ackerman, as we said, got on base last inning, as this one's going to be low for ball one. Got on base last inning and also got on base on Monday evening from a base hit. That was his first one of the season. And he chops this one foul down the third base line. One and two for Nolan Ackerman. One out in the top of the sixth inning. 1-2 pitch comes in, and Ackerman watches this one go by and takes it for strike three. And that makes it 2 outs.
Now batting number 6, Sean D.
Sean D now comes up, and he's 1 for 1 on the day. Got on base both times, got a base hit on his last time up, and has a walk on the day as well. And this pitch comes in, it's going to be called strike one. From Buddy Pindell. Next pitch coming in, and D reaches for this one, and it goes out for strike two. We'll prepare for the 0-2 from Pindell to D. This one's going to be high, ball one. 1-2. And D gets some contact on this one. He's going to sprint to first, and it doesn't look like Warner's going to get there in time, and Sean D is going to get himself an infield base hit. So Sean D getting on base 3 times today. So he has done a great job and has been very productive so far. Now Alec Ackerman comes up, older brother of Nolan Ackerman, and he's grounded into a double play on his first 2 at-bats, so we'll see what he has in store to bounce back from that. Now with a runner on first. First pitch in from Pindell, and Ackerman hacks at this one. It's going to be sent into shallow short, and that one's going to be grabbed for out number 3. And so that's going to retire the side and bring us into the bottom of the 6th inning. And Collegians still cannot get into a strong rhythm offensively as they're shut out once again and head back into the bottom of the 6th, down 11-1. Adam Shue looks like he's going to stay on the mound, and so we'll be right back to see him pitch in the bottom of the 6th inning.
Number 2, Carson Gross.
Adam Shue going to remain on the bump right now as his first throw into Carson Gross is outside for ball 1. Adam Shue with 2 shutout innings so far. And this is his first time going up against the designated hitter Gross, and Gross gets some contact on it and sends it up, and it's going to go foul into the stands.
That's a Goldpanners foul ball.
So Shue goes into his windup on the 1-1, and it's going to go way inside for ball 2. Carter Henninger getting some reps in the bullpen right now. Likely will come in relief as this one's going to be sent to short, and it's going to go past Miguel. Excuse me, it's going to be sent to second and go past Miguel for a leadoff base hit for Carson Gross.
Now batting number 8, Luke Glasgow.
First pitch from Shue, and it looks like they're going to have a chance to turn 2. They throw it to first, and it's going to go over. Does not look like it goes out of play, though. And Glasgow's going to be safe at first, but they're going to get 1 out at second.
Now batting number 29, Brady Morgan.
So Carson Gross gets out at second for the first out of the game, and Luke Glasgow gets on first. As Grady Morgan comes up, and he sends this one straight to Nolan Ackerman, who makes the grab and then steps on the bag. And Ackerman with a great play there to retire the side and get a double play, much needed double play. As that one's shot straight to him at first base, Luke Glasgow leading off a little too much. And after that one is caught, it was easy for him to return to first and step on the bag. So very quick inning there. 3 batters up, 3 batters down for Adam Shue as he pitches his 3rd shutout inning in a row. And we head to the top of the 7th with the score still 11-1. And we'll take a quick break and then return to Fairbanks in a moment. Top of the 7th inning we go. Fisher leading off once again as a new pitcher is going to come on the mound for the Goldpanners. This is Carson Gross, who was originally the designated hitter on the day. This 0-1 pitch comes in, and Fisher hacks it foul. And Fisher and Gross laughing with each other, teammates at the University of Northern Colorado, and now going against each other. And sure, Fisher's not used to going against Gross as a pitcher. Gross is normally a middle infielder. So the 0-2 is going to come in, and Fisher's going to get some contact and send it foul.
That's a center law office foul ball.
Fisher with some contact once again, and he sends this one near the beer deck above the Collegians dugout. And is going to keep this at-bat alive, so he's getting his college teammates' pitch count up early and really making him work for this out number 1 as the 0-2 comes up from Gross. And slight check swing here. Doesn't look like he went all the way. They're going to say he doesn't, so that's going to be 1-2. Garrett Fisher, the catcher today, the designated hitter yesterday. On Monday evening in that big 14-9 win, Garrett Fisher with likely the play of the game with a 3 RBI triple into left center as the 1-2 comes up, and it's going to bounce off the plate for 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two. And Fisher pops this one up down the third base line, and it's going to go foul into the stands.
That's a Goldpanners foul ball. Is a Goldpanners box. Open date 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. all summer long.
And Fisher's going to get sent as he sends another foul ball out. Or the 2-2 from Gross. And he sends another one foul. And so he continues to exchange a few laughs with his teammate. Must be frustrating to pitch against one of your teammates and he just keeps sending you foul. Keeps getting your pitch count up on your first batter. So the 2-2 comes in, and seems like this at-bat is going to last forever. And it's nice having a high press box as they do up here in Fairbanks. One, for the video resolution to be able to not have to go through a net as we do at Scott Carpenter as the 2-2 comes in. And Gross catches Fisher looking for out number 1. And Fisher, he fought hard in that inning, or in that at-bat. But Gross gets the best of him there and catches him looking for out number 1.
Nick Upstill.
Brings Nick Upstill up to the plate. This first pitch comes in, and it's going to catch the edge of the zone for strike 1. Upstill out of San Francisco State University in Huntington Beach, California. This pitch comes in, it's going to miss high and outside for ball 1. Upstill 0 for 2 on the day, and it's not like the Collegians to have this many at-bats, or this little at-bats as he sends this one foul for 1-2. Collegians usually have been 4 or 5 times through the order by the 7th inning, but right now, this is only their 3rd time through. It shows on the scoreboard only 1 run right now. And they know they're capable of hitting against this team. They did it on Monday. This pitch comes in, and it's going to be sent into right field, and it's going to drop into the right center gap. Upstill's going to go around first. He's going to come around second. The throw to third is not in time. It's going to go past, but Upstill's going to stay right where he's at, and he's going to get himself a triple for his first hit of the ball game. Perfectly placed hit, and it's such a big outfield here in Alaska, and
Number 1, Ryan Vogel.
And so if you hit it into one of those gaps, that's exactly what Fisher did when we were talking about that play he had on Monday evening where he got that 3 RBI triple. He hit it into the left center gap, and that just provided so much time for all those runners to come home and for him to get all the way to third. And Vogel swings at this one. It's going to be popped up into deep short, and it's going to be caught close to where Upstill's at, though, so he's going to stay where he's at, and that'll be good for out number 2.
Brady Miguel.
So Brady Miguel comes up. He's 2 for 2 on the day. And it's really unfortunate. He's 3 for 3 on the day. It's really unfortunate. It's great to see Upstill get that triple, but you would have loved to see that with some runners on base. And we'll see if his teammates can maybe bring him home. And if they can bring him home, then it'll be great. But I mean, you'll take a triple any time of the day, so you can't get too picky. But the 1-0 about to come in to Miguel. And it's going to go right down the middle for strike 1. In the on-deck circle is Jackson Chatterton. And Chatterton's 0 for 3 on the day. He'll try to get his first hit of the ball game. 2-0 is going to be chopped foul. Sends us to 2-1. Still 11-1 Goldpanners in the top of the 7th inning. Collegians with a runner on third base right now, 90 feet from home. That's Nick Upstill. And we're going to see if Brady Miguel has anything in his bag here to possibly tack on another run. We're getting set for the 2-1. It's going to be inside. It's going to be called strike 3. Going to retire the side. Miguel did not think that one was going to be a strike, but it's going to be called for that. And Collegians leave a runner stranded on third and cannot cut any more into this Goldpanners lead. And so we'll head to the bottom of the 7th inning with Carter Henninger coming on the mound. We'll be right back from Fairbanks. Goldpanners mascot doing their annual 7th inning stretch tradition with a song called Happy Boy down behind home plate. But a new pitcher comes in for the Collegians. It's going to be Carter Henninger getting his first time on the bump this trip. Throws that first ball to Chase Rodriguez for ball 1. Second 1-0 pitch coming in, and it's going to be down the middle for strike 1. And Henninger, hard fastball pitcher out of Oak Ridge, California, committed to play ball at San Jose State University. It's the 1-0 set to come in, and this one's going to miss outside, ball 2. And Adam Schu's going to end his game with 3 shutout innings. Great inning from him. Henninger prepares now for the 2-1. 2-1, and Rodriguez swings and misses there. Brings up a 2-2 count. We'll see if Henninger can start his day off with a strikeout. 2-2. High and outside. Loads things up at 3-2. Decent crowd here at Groden Park in Fairbanks, Alaska. Still Monday night, well over 1,000 people here for that Hoodoo Beer Night. Definitely the biggest crowd we've had so far. This one comes in, it's going to go foul here. And it's going to hit the press box just to the left of where we're at right now. The 3-2. And that one's going to be sent into deep left field. And up still is going to get under it for out number 1. So Rodriguez flies out to left. And that is 1 up, 1 down for Carter Henninger. Martin comes up, the catcher. First time he goes up against Henninger. Henninger gets set for this one that goes in and is going to be called for ball 1. Second pitch, that one's going to catch the bottom corner of the zone for strike 1. The 1-1 count, and that one's going to miss low and outside for ball 2. That one's going to miss low and outside, ball 3. Three-one now. And that one's going to miss outside, ball 4 for David Martin, who's going to take his base.
Now batting number 33, Marco Piricello.
One runner on for Marco Piricello. Subbed into the game for Robert Matai. First pitch into him is going to be down the middle for strike 1. Henninger with 1 out in the inning so far from a pop up to left field. 0-1 pitch. And that one's going to be chopped foul. 0-2. The 0-2, quick 0-2 coming up for Piricello. One runner on, and this one's going to be chopped foul down the third base line. The 0-2. Low. First ball is in for 1 and 2. Lane Oliphant, the catcher for the Collegians, was out in right field warming up a bit. Not sure if they're going to have him come in for relief. They had Chatterton come in yesterday, so they're running a few field players onto the mound in this series as the 1-2 comes up, and this one's going to be sent into deep right field. It looks like Sean D is going to be able to get under it with ease, and he's going to make the catch for out 2, and that's going to keep Martin on first base. So 2 outs.
Now batting number 1, Dominic Hughes.
Dominic Hughes comes up to the plate, and he's 1 for 2 on the day with a pair of walks. Ackerman at first trying to keep Martin honest there as Henninger goes into his quick windup, throws the killer fastball in for strike 1. The 0-1, and that one looked like it may have caught the top edge of the zone, but they're going to call it ball 1. One count. And that one's going to be called ball 2. From this angle, some of those pitches that come in, they look like they're a little bit high, or they look like they catch the zone, but they're really a little bit high, and so they're called balls. But from here, they look good. And so we've had a few of those here from this angle as the 2-1 comes in, and that one's going to be low. And no question about that one. That one was a ball, but Collegians now down 11-1 in the bottom of the 7th, a 3-1 count with 2 outs, runner on first for the Goldpanners. A 3-1 pitch comes in, and that one is going to catch the bottom corner of the zone. And it looked like Hughes was on his way to first base. Umpire says not so fast, and the count is loaded up. Three, 2, and that one's going to be called ball 4. And a close call there, but it looks like it just missed outside as Martin's going to advance to second, and Hughes is going to take his base.
Now batting number 4, Travis Warner.
If you're just joining us, just a reminder, no live active scoreboard today. So all our score updates will be in the chat. We're updating every half inning. Also, if you listen in on the broadcast, I'll be updating you guys routinely on the score. Right now, Alaska Goldpanners are up 11-1 in the bottom of the 7th inning as number 4 Warner sends this one foul. And Warner is 0 for 1 on the day and has 3 walks. And so he hasn't gotten a hit yet, but he has been on base 3 times. The 0-1 pitch. That one's going to miss inside for ball 1. And Henninger, we've talked about it all season. He's a very heavy fastball thrower. He's been transformed from a starting pitcher earlier in the season now to a relief pitcher, almost primarily, and part of that reason is he's going to be heading to a good school in San Jose State, and this one's going to catch the bottom corner of the zone for strike 2. Great pitch there. He's going to be heading to a great school in San Jose State, and likely will be having some relief innings that he'll primarily be playing in his freshman season, and so Coach Mark Knutson wants to get him prepared for that and have him pitch in relief as the 1-2 comes in and Warner sends it foul to keep us at the same count. And so Henninger was starting a lot of games early and also coming in late games. We had the second game against Hayes on 4th of July where he pitched 5 innings in relief. But likely we'll have him only come in for 1 or 2 innings. And it's good for the type of thrower he is. He's a hard fastball thrower. He's one of the best on this team, but his arm can get tired out pretty quickly. He does good on his starts, typically even as fast as he throws it. This one's going to be chopped fouled on the third base line. But definitely he can maybe focus on his craft a little bit more and on his strengths there, like the fastball, and throw a little bit harder when he knows he's only going for an inning or 2 in relief late in the game like he is right now. And then that can maybe make him more effective on the mound. But right now he has 2 outs, 2 runners on, and he's going to try and get the 3rd out coming up here on the 1-2. Into his windup, and this one's going to be chopped to short. Gazdar is going to make the throw to first, and it's going to be in time. Ackerman's going to get his foot on the bag, and we're going to head into the top half of the 8th with the score still 11-1. Carter Henninger comes in and pitches a shutout inning, and we'll head into the top of the 1st, where the Collegians will continue to look to cut into this lead. We'll be right back. First pitch from Gross in the top of the 8th inning. It's going to go low and outside for ball 1. This is Jackson Chatterton, the designated hitter on the day, leading off from the left side for Boulder, and this one's going to be low and outside, but it's going to catch the bottom corner of the zone for strike 1. And Chatterton's coming up to the plate over 3 on the day. The pair of strikeouts on his first 2 at-bats, and so we'll see if he can get on base for the first time as this pitch comes in, and it's going to drop inside for strike 2. Chatterton with an inning on the mound last evening and did pretty good. Goldpanners did get 1 run with 2 outs. He got 2 outs right away, and then they made their way around the bases, but overall a very, very good job as he reaches for this one and sends it foul into the parking lot. But overall, a very good job from Jackson Chatterton last evening for his first time out on the mound. The 1-2 comes in, and this one's going to be low and outside for ball 2. And as we stated, Earlier, we were looking down the right field line and saw Lane Oliphant, who's normally a catcher, warming up. And so that's something that we may see. We saw Garrett Fisher pitch an inning against the Roughnecks on Saturday. 2-2 comes in, and this one is popped up in the infield, and it's going to be caught behind home plate by the catcher Martin for out number 1.
Now batting for 13, John Gazdar.
Brings Gazdar up, and he's 0 for 3 on the day. This is 4th at-bat coming up. This is his first time going against Carson Gross, and he hacks at this one and sends it into center field, and going to be handled easily there from the Goldpanners for a quick out number 2. Brings up Nolan Ackerman. Nolan Ackerman 0 for 2 on the day with a hit by pitch. He was struck out looking on his last time up. He's playing first base. This is his first full game in the lineup for Boulders, coming as a pinch hitter and came in relief on first base the other night as well. And so this is his first time he's going to get a full game in. As he preps for this pitch coming up. And it's going to be low for ball 2. And Collegians have pitched 4 shutout innings in a row, but just gave up those 11 in the first 3. As Ackerman gets good contact on this one and sends it into left center, and it's going to be caught to retire this side. That one looked like it felt good coming off the bat, but just kind of died out there in left center and was caught out there for out number 3. So we'll head into the bottom of the 8th inning. Henninger's looks like he's going to remain on the mound. Looks like we're going to bring out Lane Oliphant now for 1 inning, and he's going to come out for his first inning of the season. So we'll take a quick break, and we'll return to Fairbanks in just a moment. Lane Oliphant comes up now to pitch to David Martin, as this one is going to be hacked foul
For your Goldpanners.
for 0-1. Second pitch in, and this one's going to be set into deep right field, and Looks like it's going to be out of here. And so a home run from the Goldpanners from Blake Fitzgerald, who comes in as a pinch hitter. For Caden Hogan. And he sends that 1 yard to make this thing 12-1 on Lane Oliphant's second pitch into him. And now Carson Gross comes up to the plate, who has been on the mound for the Goldpanners the past few innings. And so Oliphant coming in, he's a catcher. Also plays designated hitter here and there, but has not been on the mound all season. And this pitch comes in, it's a breaking ball. It's going to break into the zone for strike one. And so, unfortunate there from Oliphant. The second pitch he throws sent a deep shot into right field. And this one's popped straight up. Garrett Fisher's going to look to get under it, and he misjudges it a little bit, but he dives back and makes the grab for out number 1 in the bottom of the 8th. And that retires Carson Gross and brings us back to the top of the inning with Lou Glasgow.
Now batting number 8, Luke Glasgow.
So Luke Glasgow gets set to pitch for his first time against Oliphant, and he hits this one foul.
That's a Centerburg Law Office foul ball.
And puts us at 0-1 quickly. And only 10 hits on the day for the Goldpanners, but they've taken advantage of getting some hit by pitches and some walks that have gotten them in scoring position. So this pitch comes in, it's going to be sent down the first base line, and there's a foot race to first, and it looks like he's going to be out. So Ackerman with a great play there to outrun him to first. And that puts us with 3 up, 2 down.
Grady Morgan.
For the second out of the inning, and Grady Morgan comes up. Grady Morgan has scored 3 times today, but has gotten out the last 2 times up to bat, so this is his first time going up to Oliphant as he sends a breaking ball in. And it hangs and just does not break for ball 1. And the second pitch comes in, and that one's going to be a strike. We'll look at Oliphant as the 1-1 comes in, and swing and a miss there from Grady Morgan. And Oliphant, not a super fast thrower, but those breaking balls can be dangerous. Those off-speed pitches, they're going to throw off some of the hitters. So this one comes in, and it's going to be outside for ball 2 and even things up. 2-2, and this one's going to be just high. That one close to dropping in, but things are going to be loaded up at 3-2. 2 outs here, bottom of the 8th inning. Goldpanners add 1 more from a Blake Fitzgerald home run, and this one's going to be shot into right field, going off the wall, and it does not look like it's going to be fair. So that would have been a dangerous play if it had stayed fair. Just went hard down that first base line. Nolan Ackerman not quick enough to react to that, but it did go foul before heading into the outfield. But now we're at 3-2. And Oliphant's going to look to get out of this inning fairly quickly. So there's a 3-2 count now on Grady Morgan. This one comes in, and Morgan sends this one to right center, and it's going to be grabbed out there by Ryan Vogel, who catches it for out number 3. And so Oliphant comes up, and he does get a home run hit off him, but then he gets 3 outs in a row to retire the side and send us into the final inning of play, the top of the 9th, where it'll be the Collegians' last chance to bat here in Fairbanks in game number 3. We're going to take a quick break and then get right back to you. We'll be right back. Carson Gross going to stay on the mound for this final inning of play as he pitches against Sean D. This first one is a fastball that misses inside for ball 1. Collegians, 2 runs yesterday, 1 run today. Very uncharacteristic of them to struggle this much swinging the bat as Sean D gets one into deep right center field, and it's going to be handled out there for out number 1. So 1 up, 1 down for Boulder as Alec Ackerman comes up to the plate.
Batting number 22, Alec Ackerman.
And Ackerman has struggled today swinging the bat. Has grounded into 2 double plays and popped up to short on his last at bat. And it's just been unfortunate that he's been up every time with 2 outs or in situations where the side can be retired. And here he grounds to third, and it's going to be mishandled. He's going to run to first, and he's going to beat the throw there. And so Ackerman's going to get himself on base in the top of the 9th now. And so what I was saying is Ackerman has just been up in unfortunate situations, and it seems like every time he's up, the side just gets retired. That time up in a good situation with 1 out. Sends it good in between shortstop and third base, and gets on base for the first time. Garrett Fisher now up to bat against Gross for the second time. He sees this first one go for strike 1. Got the quick update in there in the chat, and this one is going to be shot up to left field, and it's going to be grabbed by the left fielder out there for out number 2. So it sounded like some good contact, but it just popped straight up into shallow left, and that one quickly died and fell into the arms of Grady Morgan out there for out number 2. So 1 runner on. This is Alec Ackerman on first with Nick Upstill now to the plate. And Upstill got himself a triple on his last at-bat. He swings at this one and sends it into the gap there, into center field. Ackerman's going to advance to second, and Upstill's going to have back-to-back hits for himself towards the end of this ball game.
Number 1, Ryan Vogel.
And that puts us to the top of the order with Ryan Vogel. And Vogel popped up to short on his last at-bat. He has a pair of base hits on the day as well. We'll look what he can do right now as this first pitch comes in. It's going to be high for ball 1. One out. Swing and a miss low there. Strike 1. Runners on first and second now, Upstill and Ackerman. And Collegians, we talk about it all year. Very resilient squad. You hear the players in all their interviews that we give them. Very resilient, never quit right now. And a very, insurmountable task as this one's going to be sent down the third base line. They're down 12-1, 2 outs, but they keep fighting, they keep playing. And we saw last night they got another run in the top of the 9th inning to make that thing 10-2. We saw in the Hayes-Larks game earlier this year. I mean, they were 90 feet away from tying that ball game after being down 7-6 in the bottom of the 9th. So now here they are, down 12-1, and they put 2 runners on base. As Vogel prepares for the 1-2, and that one's going to be low and outside, going to be called ball number 2. In the on-deck circle is Brady Miguel. Two from Carson Gross. And that one is chopped into the right field gap. And Ackerman's going to stay at third, and the bases are going to be loaded up. And Ryan Vogel's going to get himself a top of the 9th 2-out base hit.
Now batting for 8, Brady Miguel.
And here we have Brady Miguel up with the bases loaded, 2 outs. Good work there from Upstill and Vogel to get on base, and that one's going to be high for ball 1. The 1-0 pitch. And this one's going to fly foul back behind the press box all the way over us here. And even things up at 1-1. Carson Gross, the pitcher out of Folsom, California, but does attend the University of Northern Colorado. Brady Miguel from Cal State Monterey Bay as the 1-1 comes in, and this one's going to catch the edge of the zone, and that one could have gone one way or the other. But it's going to be called strike 2, and so Goldpanners find themselves now a strike away from ending this thing, but we'll see what Miguel has to say about that as the 1-2 is set to come in, and it's going to be way high. Fastball just misses the forehead of Miguel as things are knotted up at 2-2. 2-2 pitch, and Miguel gets under this one and sends it foul.
That's a Goldpanners foul ball.
Here we are in the top of the 9th inning. Collegians trail 12-1, but have the bases loaded with 2 outs in the top of the 9th with Brady Miguel, the second baseman, up to the plate right now. It's Alec Ackerman on third, Nick Upstill on second, and Ryan Vogel on first. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Miguel. The pitch from Carson Gross coming up. It's going to be high and outside. Ball 3. So interesting pitch approaching right now as we are heading to a 3-2 count. And off go all the runners on this one, and this one's going to be sent into deep right field. We'll see if it dies out there, and it is going to be caught for the final out of the ball game. And so the Collegians will leave the bases loaded in the top of the 9th and will fall in back-to-back games. They will fall tonight 12-1 to the Alaska Goldpanners and now trail in the series 2-1. As we are now halfway through this 6-game series up here in Fairbanks, Alaska with the historic Alaska Goldpanners. Collegians struggle to swing the bat once again, and they get down early. And only 1 run scored in the final 5 innings from the Goldpanners, but Collegians give up 11 runs in the first 3 innings and just dig themselves a hole that they cannot get out of. And so now it's back to the lab as they prepare and try to make preparations to try and get back in this series tomorrow night. Tomorrow night will be our last game, where we will play at 6:30 p.m. local Alaska time. That'll be 8:30 p.m. Boulder time. And the Collegians will look to get themselves back into this one tomorrow. But great atmosphere, great weather tonight. Unfortunate ending for the Boulder Collegians, but we want to thank everyone for tuning in. Again, Collegians fall 12-1 to the Alaska Goldpanners in Game 3 of this 6-game series. We want to thank everyone for listening. We hope the updates in the chat made it a lot more helpful to follow along and keep track of what was going on in the score. I will continuously update as the week goes on through my streams what the score is and what inning it is so that you guys are updated as well. Again, we wanted to fix some of that choppy video stream that was coming in throughout the week, and we did that by eliminating the scoreboard, and it looks like it helped a lot as the video was much clearer, and we're going to look to get even more clear video throughout the week. So I want to thank you guys so much for sticking with us and watching the entire stream through its entirety. We really appreciate you guys, and we appreciate all the viewers that watch these streams every time we come out here. But from myself, I'm Devin Marquez, the voice of the Collegians this season. And on behalf of everyone else at the Boulder Collegians, we want to wish you guys a safe night, and we want you guys to have a great night and a great day tomorrow as we prepare for game number 4 tomorrow evening. So from me, have a good night.